Most of the Marvel Snap meta right now is built around respectable mid-range points fueled by Shou-Lao the Undying. This deck that we're covering today ignores that entirely. This list was used by Coougarrr to hit rank 8 on the global leaderboard, and right now there's pretty much no other list that can match its ceiling. Let's dive into the full deck guide right now so you can get out there and crush your opponents on the ladder. Hey, what's up everybody? Kicker of Elves here. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day wherever you're at. Today we've got a deck guide for you that is designed to go over the top of pretty much anything you're going to face in this metagame, with the prominence of Shou-Lao decks looking to make a big Scarlet Spider. This exact list over here says, oh, you're 40 power? That's cute. I've got 68 power in 2 locations. What are you going to do about it? And it is very effective at doing that. While this is a combo list, it is very consistent. Coougarrr is the chef behind this deck, and he used this list to peak at number 8 in the world. And this list is straight fire. This list looks to combine the classic Symbiote Spider-Man into Fallen One energy cheat method, getting a big man spider and then hitting that with a Taskmaster with support from other merge cards like Agony, Peni Parker. And it now brings in the newly released Fang Foom as a way to say, I can go even taller than people trying to run Man Spider in the mirror. If you don't have Fang Foom, you're welcome to run Galactus First Steps in this slot, or even Giganto as a more budget option if you don't have either of those cards. But this list is so fantastic. With these Shou-Lao decks being so prominent, Shadow King has moved out of the spotlight from being the premier tech card in the metagame. And because there isn't as much Shadow King, you are much less worried about getting your Man Spider or your Taskmaster hit by Shadow King. There's not a lot of Alioth running around, so you're able to throw a priority going into turn 6 to create a massive Man Spider and Taskmaster. And because Deafening Chord is really the most prominent tech card of the metagame, along with like Spider-Ham and Iceman, your Symbiote Spider-Man is free to do whatever it wants, which is primarily copying your Fallen One to get a ton of energy going into turn 6. Now, the Pixie in here also creates a lot of surprise plays. What we're looking to do here is just keep our opponents guessing about our total point output going into turn 6. We don't run magics. We don't have to worry about Merlin scams. What we do run is just big guys and great ways to cheat energy without relying on needing a turn 7. This list is fantastic. Hey, hit number 8 in the world. It's got to be pretty dang great. But this isn't something where it's just like only the top 0.001% of players are running this. This is something that can be effective pre-infinite or wherever you're at in infinite if you're just trying to push the leaderboards. So again, holistically, what this list wants to do is get a very big Man Spider and copy it with Taskmaster, or get a big Fang Foom and copy it with Taskmaster. You might be saying like, hey, you're talking about copying something that costs 7 energy with Taskmaster. How am I going to get 13 energy? Well, the main line and probably your easiest snap condition is if you were able to place Symbiote Spider-Man in a location by itself, then throw the Fallen One on top of it and activate Symbiote Spider-Man on top of Fallen One, you're giving yourself a 12 energy baseline going into turn 6, which can be further amplified by energy cheat from Luna Snow, discounts from Majestic Wingbeat, Maverick throwing power onto that Fallen One. It is very combo-y, but it gives you that sort of Mr. Negative confidence of like, oh, here's my win condition. I know I've drawn into this the right way. I know my opponent's not going to have any realistic way to match my power output going into turn 6, and I'm often able to throw priority, which lets me do a Fang Foom into a Taskmaster, which lets me do a Man Spider into a Taskmaster. This list is so satisfying to pull off, and with a little bit of practice, again, definitely recommend you take this into Conquest first so you're not stumbling through ladder, especially if you're pre-infinite. This is the kind of list that's good to take into proving grounds and get some reps in with it before you try ladder. But I've been enjoying the crap out of this. I've really come around on the Symbiote Spider-Man Fallen One Man Spider stuff. I was not a big fan of it in the November season, but now this is one of my favorite kinds of lists to play. So best way to understand this, to make sure this feels right with you if you want to invest in these cards, is to dive into a card by card breakdown. So let's do that now. Majestic Wingbeat, new skill card released this month, and it's not just there for Zombie Galacti. This is really helpful because we are running a lot of cards like Man Spider, Fallen One, Taskmaster, Fang Foom, where getting the cost reduction on it and the additional 2 power important, but the -1 cost can really help accelerate your game plan when you're trying to cheat something out there. A 6/14 Fang Foom is incredible. A 4/7 Fallen One, even on its own, if you're not comboing into Symbiote Spider-Man, can also give you enough energy sheet to do some pretty crazy shenanigans. It's cheap, it's effective, it goes well into this list. Even if you're hitting something like a Maverick and you're not getting the cost reduction, it can be very powerful. Nico Minoru is our ultimate toolbox sort of card. I find she can be really effective in here. Well, one, it's a Pixie list, so you want to have some 1-drops to help, high roll your Fang Foom into being a 1. But if you're able to get the dream, Pixie or Nico Demon Spell into Pixie, Nico Draw 2 into Pixie, and you don't have a lot of your high cost cards in hand, that's a pretty dang good position to be in. Even sometimes just having Nico adding power and moving a card to the right location, if that's like a Sanctum Sanctorum or something like that, can be great. Nico is just one of the most versatile cards in the game, and she plays well into a Pixie list while also furthering your game plan of trying to cheat out big cards or just soup things up. Getting even just the +2 spell onto your Agony can be very helpful. Speaking of Agony, Agony is primarily in here for, well, a couple different reasons. Ideally, you're able to play her out earlier in the game, and then when you do your Man Spider Taskmaster shenanigans, you're playing your Man Spider on Agony, and now this part's very important. You don't want Agony to be the last card you played before you play Man Spider. Ideally, what you're doing is you're playing Symbiote Spider-Man into Fallen One, activating Symbiote Spider-Man on top of Fallen One, and then playing your Man Spider into another location that has Agony. You're going to absorb the, 12 power 12 power Fallen One, copy that onto Man Spider, jump up to 26, get the 3 power from Agony onto that 29 power times 2 is like 58. There's your 58 power Man Spider. If you hit Taskmaster that, you're winning those 2 locations. Simple as that. Agony's awesome for that, but it can also serve if you want to put this on top of your Maverick, and then you use that to throw that power over onto your Fallen One. So you're getting, a 4-10 or a 5-10 Fallen One. So you have 10 energy going into the final turn of the game. That can often be enough if you've got like a Pixied Fang Foom and Taskmaster. Really great lines, really supports either game plan. And even if you just have to sort of tempo this out there, a 1-3 is on rate and very, very powerful. Pixie. God, I need a good Pixie variant. I like Pixie. I would love for her to be a 1 cost, and boy, would Pixie love for herself to be a 1 cost. I think Pixie can be a very skill-intensive card because we're not running Mobius. You have to look at your hand and be like, I've got 3 of my 4 greater than 5 cost cards in hand, and you might just have to skip playing Pixie that game, even if you don't have anything else to play, because you don't want to draw a 5 cost Nico Minoru. But this goes in line with us. We're not trying to do magic things in this list. We're trying to have unpredictable power output. And if you Pixie and then snap, even if you get like a 2 cost Fallen One or a 2 cost Fang Foom, your opponent's got to respect that. They don't know what your output is going to be. Pixie is not a very meta popular card right now, so they might just dip on that right away, which can be every little win counts when you're trying to climb to infinite. Peni Parker. Ever since Man Spider came out, Peni's really gotten a lot of love. I'm happy just because I enjoyed this variant of her, but she goes into the merge game plan. As a 2-3 that generates a 3-5. Sometimes you can even you can do cool stuff like a couple days after this video comes out, the hot location is going to be Shuri's Lab. If you play your Peni Parker onto Shuri's Lab, when you merge the spider on top of her, it will double again, and then you can move it out of the Shuri's Labs. That's already a very powerful line. This deck will be very good for that location, but gives you a little bit of ramp, lets you on turn 4 get out a 5 cost card. That's not your main way you want to be ramping, but if you've got to, that's a good way to get Man Spider going. Or, and this is a high roll, if you are able to save that spider to go onto your Man Spider on turn 6 when you do, Man Spider taking the giant Fallen One Symbiote Spider-Man, and you throw this on it again before Taskmastering, you're getting a frankly ridiculously high-powered card. Maverick, got to get a good variant for Maverick too. Maverick's pretty nuts. Maverick is kind of Mr. Unpopular because of all the Shou-Lao lists he's going into, but he's really excellent here. You're using him to primarily in this list boost up, at least in my play experience of this, boost up your Fallen One play line. if you're not getting your dream draws into your Symbiote Spider-Man that can be perfectly played alone into a location for Fallen One, you want that extra energy cheat. And even sometimes if you're not doing that exactly, just beefing up a Nico that has the ×2 play. So it's like, okay, I'm going to play down my Nico that has the double its power thing onto it, and then next turn Nico is just going to go up to a 110. That can be great rate too. Maverick helps that with every single bit of this game plan, except, throwing it onto Fang Foom probably isn't necessary unless you're Taskmastering it. Luna Snow, our one pure single turn ramp card. If you're not doing the Symbiote Spider-Man Fallen One shenanigans, oftentimes you can just play Luna Snow, and then a turn 1 or turn 2 Agony, turn 3 Luna Snow, turn 5 Man Spider on top of that Agony location. That's immediately jumping up to what is that? 1 on top of the 6. Go, you're watching me do math in real time. 14, then 14 into 3 is 34 power right there on turn 4. That's your opponent's got to have to respect that snap. It's very strong and also just helps accelerate things in general. Just be careful not to Symbiote Spider-Man your Ice Cube. That never feels fun. Symbiote Spider-Man, there's a lot of criticism towards this guy for being very ooh, look at me, look what I can do. But your opponent's going to have to respect seeing this. If they don't have a Cosmo, if they don't have a Juggernaut and Goliath or some very reliable way to deal with this, and you play a Symbiote Spider-Man and Snap, there's some very good equity there, especially if you can get this card cheaper with Pixie. If you're able to play Symbiote Spider-Man and Fallen One on the same turn and then just activate going into the next one, it can feel pretty dang good. Man Spider. Man Spider is the star of the show here. I don't think you can play this list without Man Spider. I don't think this list works without Man Spider. And the same thing can probably be said for Fallen One. Man Spider, we have multiple merge cards. What we're trying to do in the best game plan for surprise and cube equity is set up the board in such a way that we've got an Agony in one location. We've got a huge Symbiote Spider-Man Fallen One, so we've got 13 plus energy going into turn 6. And then we Man Spider Taskmaster on the same turn. If we have the energy to play the Spider from Peni onto the Man Spider and guarantee that it'll hit it before we Taskmaster, even freaking better. This is a great way to just be okay, Shou-Lao, your interaction is Spider hamming, and you missed the Spider ham. You hit my Fang Foom. Your Iceman didn't hit the right thing. Your core doesn't do any of this stuff, or you Iceman, but I still Majestic Wingbeat. We play around Shou-Lao's tech package. We hate Spider-Man. We hate Goliath. We hate Shang-Chi. None of those cards are seeing play right now. So Man Spider can go taller than all of those lists. Fallen One, Symbiote Spider-Man are a pretty iconic duo at this point. Doing that and getting 12 power as a base going into turn 6 feels pretty dang good. Or just a jump up to 13 power. I forget the exact math on it, but if you play Symbiote Spider-Man, then Fallen One to the Symbiote Spider-Man location, activate on top of Fallen One, you have a bajillion energy going into turn 6, and your opponent is pretty much dead in the water. Again, even if you don't hit that play line exactly, if you can pass a Maverick buff onto them, if you can hit Majestic Wingbeat on this, or a Nico buff, or just get it out earlier by hitting your Pixie. If you turn 3/5 Fallen One that you can then Symbiote Spider-Man on top of later, feels fantastic. This is quickly becoming my favorite way of energy cheating, and I wonder if there's some cool things we could do with Tribunal stuff, but that might just be wishful thinking. Fallen One is another very much required card here. We're talking about making really giant, Man Spiders or doing crazy stuff with Fang Foom. Wouldn't it be great if we had 2 of those and didn't have to rely on Arnim Zolaing a solo location? That's what Taskmaster is here to do. Turn 6 playing Man Spider and Taskmaster is kind of replicating the feeling back the last time I think Pixie was super meta relevant was when we were doing Sentry and Nihilist stuff. Playing Sentry and Nihilist in the same turn because of Pixie felt incredible. You don't even need Pixie to play Taskmaster and Man Spider on the same turn. You just need to do the Symbiote Spider-Man Fallen One combo, and then boom, this card is going to absolutely pop off. This feels incredible. You can copy, depending on the different lines, you have to know okay, I'm not going to be able to do Man Spider stuff. My best play is just to copy the 12 power Man Spider that was played and then go Luna Snow and Peni another location to help close things out. You have to read each of the turns as you got them, but Taskmastering your 68 power man spider is a truly incredible feeling. Fang Foom, our latest Series 5 card, and very much a threat here. This card really plays well into the mirrors because oftentimes Man Spider and Taskmaster are going to end up being in your front row, or at least one of them will be. And Fang Foom says, okay, doesn't matter whatever cards you've got in the front, I believe Heart of the Cards was the one that said this, it's asking, do you have at least 13 power in your back lane? Because if you don't, I will win that location. We're often throwing priority going into turn 6, and Fang Foom is just straight up a lane winner. This gives you some added consistency to where you don't just, you're not relying 100% on Man Spider. You can Foom into a big location and Taskmaster that too, doing your Fallen 1 Symbiote Spider-Man combo, and it feels freaking phenomenal. So that's this deck. I'm in love with this. I just want to say, if you want more hard-hitting deck reviews, if you want more in-depth meta reports, card reviews that understand the value and cost of tokens in your account, you're in the right place in the Kicker of Elves channel. Hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,500 subscribers. Really appreciate all y'all's support. Check out the video below if you want another look at a cool deck guide that is a little bit different from the one that we're checking out here. Just posted a video yesterday reviewing Fang Foom, so check that out if you want to see if this card is really worth your 6K tokens. Please like, comment the video. Let me know what you think of this list. Are you a Man Spider fan, or is this a card that you've skipped? Even if you have nothing, even if your question has nothing to do with this video, you just have a specific Marvel Snap question, or don't even want to talk about Marvel Snap, let me know. Love to see the thoughts from all. I like or engage with pretty much every comment, as long as you're not being rude or outright trolling me. And yeah, again, thanks so much for watching. Check out the video below. I'm Kicker of Elves, and I really appreciate the support. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.